Hello, everyone. Welcome to well, as it says in the description, it's a short stream. It's not going to be very long. And in case you're wondering, I'm not worried about that copyright thing because it was a one-time thing. It was kind of my bad because well, not really. It's just again, it was that city guesser game, which again I'm not streaming anymore. I'm not saying I hate the game. It's more of a precautionary thing. I might still play it on my free time, but I'm not going to stream it because I will admit, if I had have known that video tour was in there, because I have a feeling that the person who did that copyright takedown was likely an employee there and they didn't realize that the video was part of the game. But it is what it is, so I'm not concerned because I'm just gonna let it, fizzle away. Because all I have to do is just wait like a certain period of time, and it'll all go away. But yeah. But I still think it's a false claim, though. But I'm not gonna bother with it because it is what it is. I learned from my mistake. Anyway, what we are going to do though is the Game Awards again. So the last time we did all this, we voted for the actual big awards. And so this time we're going to be doing the Player's Choice Awards. Which I haven't done that yet. This is going to be my personal experience doing it blindly. So I don't know what to expect, but and so the reason why this is here because a friend of mine on Twitter had posted something of it was a picture of a car they saw in the parking lot somewhere. And they were like, yeah, I'm not sure if it's a Mazda or a Mitsubishi. And I tried looking up what it was, but I couldn't really find it, even through Wikipedia, which Wikipedia is everything. But this right here is because of the fact that I have my Quest 2 plugged in all day long. And typically, I normally wait until like the afternoon to start doing that because it'll be fully charged by the evening when I plan on using it. As it turns out, before we get to the main meat and potatoes, yeah, yeah, so, okay, that's not really showing what I mean. But essentially what it is it says right here in the forum, which this is literally from over a month ago, solved Quest 2 not charging past 55. It only charged up a little bit, and typically what I do every single night whenever I'm done using my Quest 2 is I plug it in during the night, and so by the time I wake up in the morning, it's got a green battery light, and then I unplug it, and then by the time I get ready to use it, I plug it back in to make sure it's topped up whenever I plan on using it. The thing is, much like what this post says, it's not 55 for me, it's 71. In fact, I'll go over there right now and check, but I'm pretty sure it's still going to be 71%. But here's the thing. So, here's the thing. As it says here, that is unless I go into USB update mode and leave it there. So this seems to be a software issue, which means I might need a factory reset. But yeah, oh, what? Hold on. Oh, so I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird, but yeah. But it is technically on the charger, but it's weird. Um, Oh, why did I do that? Okay. I should say that this weekend, because the Game Awards is literally just next Thursday, I am planning on getting not one but two sparkling grape juices. What I'm doing this time around is I'm gonna alternate between the two whenever there's a big award being handed out. So, say for example, I get a white and red grape. So one award I'll get a white grape drink, and then the next one I'll get a red grape. Obviously, they're both going to be Welch's because I remember last year during the PlayStation showcase we had last year, which I don't think we're going to have one this year. What ended up happening was I got Martinelli, and I kid you not, I'm not joking when I say this. I didn't shake this thing up at all. All I did was I grabbed my bottle opener, like I had this red plastic bottle opener, it might be over there. And all I did was just like, oh wait, no, it was blue, not red. I don't even remember. But all I did was just do like you normally do with the bottle opener. And all of a sudden it just goes, and so I had to frantically I almost said ratio. I had to frantically run over to my bathroom, get a towel, put it on the floor, or carpet, and the good thing is it didn't end up getting sticky or stain the carpet or anything, but it was really, really freaky, because, again, just to reiterate, I didn't shake the drink up at all. At all. It just fizzed everywhere. I still had a lot in there. It's just, it volcanoed upward for no reason. And I know I keep saying this, but I didn't even shake it. I moved it a little bit whenever I was putting it to where I wanted to have it. And usually when I do this kind of stuff, I have a plate that I have my wine glasses on, which I don't drink wine. I just have them there for sparkling juices. But I have a plate there to make sure that if I do spill something, it would end up being on the plate, so that way there won't be much of a cleanup. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, anyway, so I usually just get Welch's for this kind of stuff, because I don't have to worry about, oh, it's player's voice, that's what it is. Let's do this. 30 nominees. Alright. Oh. Do I have to do that every single time I get on this website? Okay. I will admit, though, I shared my badge. I'm an unofficial co-streamer. So, what I mean by this is they do... I should say... I should say... that technically you are allowed to stream your own reaction. You don't have to be an official co-streamer, but you can still stream your own reaction, and I've done it numerous times before with literally almost no problems. But yeah, so as it says here, FAQ, yeah, so they welcome and encourage co-streaming, but you can sign up as an official one, likely to help promote the event and stuff. But what we're doing is, for right now, with just about 9 days left, or I think it is 9 days. Okay, here it is. Player's voice. Not player's choice, player's voice. I don't know why I think the reason why I put the wrong name is because I didn't know that it was player's voice, not player's choice. Uh, anyway, what is your favorite game of the year? Player's voice is a 100% fan voted award across 3 rounds. Let's see. Game number 1, Horizon Forbidden West. Game number 2, well, let's see. Oh. Minecraft? What the hell is Minecraft doing here? Also, what? Oh. Ah! Sonic Frontiers is beating God of War! You know what? I have Minecraft, so I might as well vote. And then finally, Sonic Frontiers. Now, they also have like 7 other votes. Okay, fine. D2. I have played this game this year. But beyond that, I really haven't played any of these other games. So, your votes have been submitted. Yeah. Oh, you could change your picks. I'm not going to do that, though. Look at that. Elden Ring, of course, is in the lead. Look at this. Dude. This is crazy. Like, Sonic Frontiers is in second place. That's crazy to think about. Because, you know, here's the thing about Sonic games, before I end the stream off, which, like I said, it wouldn't be a very long stream. I would like to say, first of all, I still haven't beaten the game yet. I'm chipping away at it, but as soon as I finish the game, I won't be playing it in hard mode for this personal playthrough or the Let's Play whenever I get to it. But I will say this game has blown me away. It literally makes me remember being a kid and first playing Sonic. Because I've said this before, my first experience with Sonic the Hedgehog was the Mega Collection. And eventually I saw some of the trailers in that game for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which at the time I didn't know about the Sega Dreamcast, so I just assumed that Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was the original game. But as it turns out, that was not the case. It's just a port, an enhanced version of the game. But I became enamored with that game that I saw. And so one night I asked Papa, or I think it was one day, I don't remember what time of day it was. But I asked my Papa if for graduating to, I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade, if he could get me Sonic Adventure 2 Battle if I graduated to the next grade. And he said, yeah, I'll do that. And you gotta remember, that was like months before that happened. And I still remember that night when it happened. He called me downstairs from my room. I was playing games on my GameCube. And what had ended up happening was he called me downstairs and said, Brandon, I have a surprise for you. And he had his hands behind his back. So I knew he had something to give me. Now it's important to note because, you know, when it comes to graduating, when you typically think of graduation, you think of the actual, like, big ceremony that you would have when you're graduating from high school or college, not moving on to the next grade. But to me, it was still a pretty big deal because it signifies you growing up. Pardon the voice crack. And, when he brought his hands around from his back, my eyes lit up upon seeing that glorious game just shining right in my eyes. And I distinctly remember putting on this really goofy-ish sounding voice. I was like, thank you, Papa! And I had this sort of like British sounding voice because like I just was in such awe at how excited I was. And so immediately after thanking him and hugging him, I darted back upstairs and I started playing that game. And my god, I was in the time for my life. That is quite literally the same exact feeling that Sonic Frontiers has been giving me. There have been some times where, I've gotten frustrated, like, or not frustrated, rather. I mean, we all know about the pinball thing. But, here's the thing. For its flaws, I can excuse those. Because Sonic Team did their best with this game. But just to say that this game literally harkens back, to me personally, to when I first experienced the series as a kid. It's amazing that a game could be that powerful, that it would make me remember those times where I would remember those times that I remember having such fond memories of playing that game. I never beat it either, because I just wasn't very good at video games in general, and even nowadays I'm not sure if I could beat it, because... Oh, okay. Sorry about that. But what I'm trying to say, sorry about the disconnect, is that Sonic Frontiers gave me a feeling that I never thought I would be talking about. The feeling of reliving memories. There have been times where I've remembered times in my life that I had enjoyed. For example, I've talked on stream about my old summer camp I used to go to. I talked about growing up in my childhood home that I lived in until early 2017. I talked about my memories in school, for the better and for the worse. But the one thing that I never talked about was just how impactful Sonic the Hedgehog has been for me. As a kid, whenever I first played Sonic, I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to be a cool kid. I wanted to be heroic. I wanted to do the right thing. And that's what this series taught me that no other game series like Mario could ever teach me. And that's not to knock Nintendo. I'm not saying Nintendo's games are terrible. I'm not saying that at all. But to me personally, Sonic has spoken to me on such a big level that even today I still fondly remember those moments where I was playing a Sonic game, like, Mega Collection, seeing the cool levels, and learning about Sega as a whole, because, that was whenever I learned about the Genesis. And at that time, I thought that was the only console they made. And then I later found out about the Saturn and the Dreamcast. But I also learned more about Sonic as well. So just those two games alone introduced me to a big franchise that, while the more recent games haven't really seen the same glorious light that the older games might have enjoyed, especially Unleashed, which was originally panned for its performance in the nighttime stages and whatnot. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what those games made you feel. As someone who, growing up, had just those two games for the longest time on a GameCube, the Mega Collection and the Adventure 2 battle game, they still made me fall in love with Sonic. And even all these years later, getting that game, I didn't even pre-order it either. It's just, I do occasionally pre-order stuff if I plan on it, but Sonic Frontiers was a game that I just wanted to get day one, and not as a joke like I did with Forces, where I completely forgot that it came out the day that I was already walking, and so I made a U-turn to Walmart, grabbed it, got home, and I was like, oh man, I'm so excited, I haven't played a Sonic game in forever, only to be disappointed in a numerous level Pardon the weird words. But Frontiers is different. It didn't make me feel, how Forces made me feel. I don't feel disappointment. I don't feel like my soul's been sucked out of my body. You know why? Because the very second that I started playing, the memories just came flooding back. So, even if it doesn't win first place, I just want Sonic Team to know that, first of all, this game has been a major success, both critically in terms of the fans and, most critics who actually love Sonic, not people like IGN that are just like, we're gonna give this game a 7 because, poppin', By the way, IGN, hey, you guys remember how 5 years ago you reviewed Star Fox 2 on the SNES Classic? And you kept mentioning how the game's graphics and the performance aren't really that good? When it's a game from 95? Yeah, we all remember. The game was meant to run like that, by the way, because, Super Effects chip. Anyway, I'm sidetracking here. But to the critics that gave the game such scathing remarks like, oh, performance issues, oh, blah, 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 oh, the combat's shallow, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Shut up. This isn't for you. This is for the fans. This is what the fans wanted. And we love it. It's not another Forces. It's not another Colors, although Colors is mostly okay. It's just, it was the start of the meta era where it's just bad jokes made it seem like a Saturday morning cartoon. Frontiers, though, it's the start of a Sonic retribution. It's Sonic finally being revived from a period in time where people thought, oh god, is this really going to be what Sonic is forever? No. Sure, Sonic still makes some witty little jokes here and there, but it's not every 2 seconds, and it's usually done in a way that lightens the mood, because otherwise the game is very mature and serious in nature. Just like the adventure games. Just like Unleashed. Which is exactly what we wanted. We wanted a Sonic game to convey those same emotions. And although I haven't beaten it yet, I can confidently give this game a 10 out of 10. For real. Not as a joke, but in all honesty. Anyway, before I start crying from emotions, because I'm literally starting to feel emotions, how about we end the stream here? I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, then like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to do any of those things, but certainly appreciate it. But in any case, see you later. Good night. Oh, and YouTube, I'm still on to you about that false copyright claim. It wasn't even from YouTube. It was just some random person named Robert Davis. I'm still not really mad about that anymore because I've gotten over it, but it's still confusing. But